I think President Obama is off to an extraordinary start on both the domestic and international fronts. On the international front, he has moved decisively to reestablish America's moral authority in the world community, reaching out to our neighbors in this hemisphere to reestablish relations on an equitable basis with the North Atlantic Partnership, which is, I think, the most important relationship we have in the world, to chart a course to get American troops out of Iraq, stabilize the situation in Afghanistan, extend a hand to the Iranian leadership and to their people, and to expand our friendship and relationship with China, to begin the process of working toward a solution between the Israelis and the Palestinians. It's an extraordinary work of achievement in the international arena in just less than 100 days. On the domestic front, he had to move quickly, frontally on the recession that we're experiencing. It's been going on since December of 2007, and embraced even before in office with his selected nominees for Treasury, for Office of Management and Budget, for Council of Economic Advisors, sent them here to work with the House and the Senate in fashioning a stimulus initiative, and doing so under the most difficult of circumstances, because all the levers of control, all the sources of information, all the policy makers were in place from the Bush administration, not cooperating, not helping out, not providing us with the information we needed to shape legislative initiatives to implement a recovery program. But he persisted. He did not flinch from the task. He didn't say we have to wait until January 20th. He moved vigorously, forthright, with full effort on that stimulus initiative. It's now enacted. Contracts have been awarded. People are working. I'll just give the example of a young man from Chisholm who is a civil engineer, came in to see me just 10 days ago, said, a month ago I was out of work. My company is now back designing and doing engineering on road projects because of the stimulus. Well, that's happening all over America. And that is in itself, if nothing else, in itself is an extraordinary accomplishment. He committed during the campaign to a tax cut for every American, and most of it, 95% of it, for people under the top 2% of the pay scale in this country. That's been enacted. It's part of the stimulus. Those changes are going into effect. We're seeing highway projects, wastewater treatment projects, drinking water projects, school improvement projects, all under contract, work being accomplished all across America. That is an exceptional achievement. 90 days ago, we had a president who vetoed our legislation for my committee to restore the Everglades, to rebuild the wetlands in the Gulf, to extend the locks on the Mississippi River, to accelerate dredging on the harbors and channels in the Great Lakes, to improve our navigation for taconite shipments to lower lake ports. That was vetoed. We overrode the veto. The Bush presidency refused to put a single one of the projects in their budget. Now we have $5 billion for the Corps of Engineers to do those works. That is a dramatic change from where we were just 3 months ago.
What qualities do you see him bringing to the office that making him effective? What's he doing right?
He has the sweep of intellect, the decisiveness of character, and the ability to communicate to not only the American public, but to publics all across the world, his purpose in office. And we probably haven't seen that since Franklin Roosevelt. Lyndon Johnson was exceptional until he got too bogged down with the Vietnam War. John F. Kennedy was an extraordinary, charismatic communicator, but Barack Obama has shown his ability to intellectually grasp the challenges at hand, think through the options, choose a course of action, and then the temperament to take that course of action forward, and the ability to explain it to the American public.
One of the primary criticisms of him as a candidate was he's just not experienced. He hadn't been in the Senate long. He's not that old. What do you say to that criticism now?
Intellect and temperament trump experience. I remember the remarkable story of Oliver Wendell Holmes, who went to visit to whom Franklin Roosevelt paid a visit before being sworn in those days in March in 1933. And Justice Holmes was asked, "What's your impression of Mr. Roosevelt?" He said, "Second-rate intellect, but a first-rate temperament." Well, in Barack Obama, we have a first-rate intellect and a first-rate temperament, and the energy to match it. He is boundless in his energy.
Going forward from here, what do you think his most, and our most, and it's not just his, it's ours, our most significant challenge is going to be as this administration moves forward? Remember, Jimmy Carter was about this popular, if not more, at this point in his administration.
Barack Obama has launched the recovery. He now has to preside over its implementation. He has to carry through, and the various agencies of government are doing that. I am doing this in my committee on transportation and infrastructure. We are going to have the first of a series of 30-day reports from every one of the states on the transportation, on the transit investments, on the water and wastewater treatment investments that we're making, aviation, Corps of Engineers, federal building, all of those we are going to report. President Obama has to do the same on the national. He has to keep his thumb on the pulse of the economic recovery investment that we're making in that $780 billion, and make sure that it stays on course, that there is transparency that is being reported to the public, and taking corrective action where things don't work out. Roosevelt in the WPA said, or had a provision to terminate projects that were not proving their worth. President Obama will have to do the same. He will also have to continue moving ahead on health care initiatives, on credit, expansion of credit, so that the economy can begin to expand. He has to deal with a wide range of financial issues. The mortgage foreclosure problem still looms high for us. He can't let up on any of those issues, and he has to move forward with health care reform. And that's, any one of those is a big challenge in and of itself. To manage all of them together is the test of this presidency.